I thought I had everything figured out. 3 weeks until my wedding, and my life looked perfect on paper. Daniel Hayes, my college sweetheart, the man who brought me coffee every morning, who talked about our future kids with actual stars in his eyes, was going to be my husband. I was Emma Carter, 28, marketing coordinator at Brighton Media, and we just bought a townhouse with a backyard Daniel kept saying was perfect for the kids. Emma, what do you think? Daniel held up 2 paint swatches in the nursery. Buttercup yellow or sunshine yellow. They look exactly the same. No, look closer. This one has warmer undertones. It'll work for a boy or a girl. His face was so earnest, so excited about children we hadn't even conceived yet. I smiled and kissed him. Whatever you think is best. But even as I said it, something restless twisted in my stomach. Was I ready for this? The house? The kids? The forever? At work, Marcus Bennett made things complicated. He was the creative director, charming, always in those designer suits that probably cost more than my rent used to. We'd been working late together on campaigns, sharing takeout, laughing at inside jokes, just friendship, I told myself. Daniel had even met Marcus at the Christmas party and liked him. The night before my bachelorette party, Daniel held me close. 3 more weeks until you're Mrs. Hayes. I can't wait to spend forever with you. So, I kissed him back, but that restless feeling wouldn't go away. If I could go back to that moment, I'd hold him tighter. I'd appreciate what I had before I destroyed it all. Sophia went all out for my bachelorette party. She'd rented a private room at Azure, the trendiest club downtown. My bridesmaids filled the space, my sister Claire, my cousin Jessica, college friends Mia, Rachel, and Natalie. The music pounded, drinks flowed, and everyone kept toasting to my last night of freedom. I hated that phrase. It made marriage sound like prison. Come on, Emma, one more shot. Sophia pushed another drink into my hands. By midnight, I was tipsy, and the sash that read bride-to-be felt like it was strangling me. That's when Marcus walked in. Sophia had invited some coworkers, but seeing him there, outside the office, made my heart race in ways it shouldn't have. He found me at the bar. You seem tense for someone who's supposed to be celebrating. Just overwhelmed, I admitted. His hand settled on the small of my back. Want to step outside? Get some air? I should have said no. I should have walked away. Instead, I followed him out the back exit into a quiet alley. The cool air didn't clear my head like it should have. We talked about work, about life, about whether I was really ready to settle down. You don't seem like someone who wants to be tied down, Marcus said, stepping closer. I love Daniel, I whispered, but even I heard the doubt in my voice. Then he kissed me. Or did I kiss him? It doesn't matter now. What matters is that I didn't stop it. 20 minutes, that's all it took to destroy everything. 20 minutes of kissing someone who wasn't my fiancé. Of letting his hands wander where they shouldn't. Of making choices I knew were wrong even as I made them. When I finally pulled away, Marcus smiled. Your secret's safe with me. I rushed back inside, my lips swollen, my dress wrinkled. Sophia's eyes narrowed when she saw me. I'm not feeling well, I said quickly. Emma, wait. Claire reached for me. I'm fine, just too much to drink. I'll get an Uber. In the car ride home, I made myself a promise. I would never tell Daniel. It was one mistake. It would never happen again. Some secrets were better left buried. Sunday morning, I woke up with crushing guilt. Daniel was making pancakes his tradition. How was last night? Did Sophia behave herself? He pulled me into a hug. It was fine, just a lot of drinking. I couldn't meet his eyes. We went to his parents' house for lunch. His mother showed me the guest list again. His father made another speech about how lucky Daniel was. Every compliment felt like a knife twisting deeper. Monday morning at work, I knew something was wrong. People stared. Conversations stopped when I walked by. At my desk, I found a note. Check your email. My hands trembled as I opened my inbox. Unknown sender. No subject line. Just a video attachment. I clicked it, and my world collapsed. The video showed everything. Marcus and me in that alley. The kissing. The touching. Crystal clear footage from some angle I hadn't noticed. And it had been sent to everyone, my entire department, company executives, and Daniel. I called him immediately. Straight to voicemail. Daniel, please call me back, please. I texted him begging. Nothing. I left work, ignoring my manager Patricia's questions, and drove straight home. Daniel's car was in the driveway. I ran inside. Daniel? He was in the living room, sitting in the dark, his laptop open. The video paused on the screen. Daniel, please let me explain. Explain what, Emma? His voice was eerily calm. Explain how you snuck off with a coworker at your own bachelorette party? Explain how you let him touch you? Explain how you were going to marry me in 3 weeks and never tell me? I had no words. Because he was right. Daniel stood up. And I saw he'd been crying. Red. Swollen eyes. I'd never seen him cry before, not even when his grandfather died. I loved you, he said quietly. I planned my entire future around you. Our kids' names, I had them picked out. Emma Jr. if we had a girl. Everything was supposed to be with you. Daniel, it was a mistake. A mistake? He laughed bitterly. A mistake is forgetting to pick up milk. What you did was a choice, Emma. You chose to betray me. You chose to come home and look me in the eye and lie. The doorbell rang. Claire. Daniel must have called her. What were you thinking? She hissed when we were alone in the kitchen. I don't know. I wasn't thinking. That's the problem, Emma. You never think about consequences. You just do whatever feels good in the moment. Another knock. Tyler, Daniel's best friend and lawyer. My knees went weak when I saw the paperwork. Daniel wants to make a few things clear, Tyler said, his voice professional and cold. The wedding is off. He wants his ring back. The townhouse you'll discuss later. I don't care about the house, I whispered. Daniel, please. There's one more thing, Tyler continued. Daniel wants it in writing that if you're pregnant, I'm not pregnant. If you are, Tyler emphasized, or if you ever have children in the future, Daniel wants full custody arrangements documented now. Any future children you have, he wants proof they're not his, and he wants it legally stated that you're an unfit mother. What? Daniel? You can't be serious. Daniel finally looked at me. The love in his eyes was gone. Anyone who could do what you did, who could lie like that, isn't someone I'd trust to raise children. If by some chance you're pregnant with my child, Emma, I will fight for full custody. I will use that video, your betrayal, everything. No child of mine will be raised by someone like you. Someone like me? Tears streamed down my face. Daniel, I made one mistake. One mistake that showed me exactly who you really are, he said. Get out, Emma. Get out of my house. Claire took my arm. Come on. You can stay with me tonight. As I left, I looked back. Daniel was staring at the wall where we'd hung photos from Paris. The trip where he'd told me he wanted to grow old with me. That man was gone now. I'd killed him. The video went viral within our social circles. My mother called crying. How could you do this to such a good man? Mom, I'm sorry. Sorry doesn't fix what you've done. Daniel's mother is heartbroken. They treated you like a daughter. I know. I need some time before I can see you. She hung up. My father wouldn't speak to me at all. Daniel's mother left a voicemail I've never deleted. I thought you were going to be the mother of my grandchildren. I thought you were family. How could you? Tuesday morning, Patricia called me into her office. Emma, I need to discuss the incident from this weekend. It was private. Outside of work. A video involving 2 of my employees circulating through the entire company is not private, she interrupted. Marcus has been suspended. You're being placed on immediate leave. Leave? For how long? Indefinitely. HR needs to determine if this constitutes workplace misconduct. She softened slightly. Emma, you've put the company in a difficult position. Marcus was your superior. There are questions about consent, abuse of power. He didn't force me, I said. Patricia sighed. That doesn't make it better. Go home. We'll be in touch. I cleaned out my desk while everyone watched. Natalie wouldn't look at me. James from sales said homewrecker, loud enough for me to hear. Sophia met me for coffee Wednesday. She spent the first 10 minutes shaking her head. I've known you since college, Emma. I've never seen you do anything like this. What happened? I felt trapped, I whispered. Like my whole life was planned out. It was stupid. It was selfish, Sophia corrected. Daniel worshipped you. He would have done anything for you. And you threw it away for what? 20 minutes with Marcus? I know. Do you? Because from where I'm sitting, it looks like you're more upset about getting caught than about what you actually did. Her words stung because they were partially true. Was I really sorry? Or just sorry that everyone knew? Thursday. Marcus texted me. We need to talk. Coffee shop on 5th Street. 2 p.m. I should have ignored him. But I went. He looked tired, disheveled. They're firing me. HR called this morning. Workplace misconduct. Fraternization policy. I'm on indefinite leave. We both knew there would be consequences. Did we? Marcus leaned forward. I certainly didn't expect someone to film us and send it to the entire office. Do you know who did it? Does it matter? We did what we did. Marcus laughed without humor. You're really going full martyr mode, aren't you? Poor Emma. Suffering for her sins. You're not taking any of this seriously. I'm losing my job, Emma. A job I've had for 6 years. A job that paid very well. And for what? 20 minutes with you? The way he said it made me feel dirty. Cheap. My engagement is over, I said quietly. Daniel wants full custody of any future children I might have. My family won't speak to me. My reputation is destroyed. You're not the only one losing something. Right. Your perfect fiancé. Marcus rolled his eyes. Let me guess, he was boring? Too nice? Too predictable? That's why you wanted someone like me. You don't know anything about Daniel. I know you were willing to cheat on him. Marcus stood up. Look, I didn't ask you here to argue. I wanted to tell you that if HR asks, I'm saying you initiated everything. That you'd been flirting with me for months and came on to me that night. My blood ran cold. That's not true. Isn't it? Can you prove otherwise? You're already finished, Emma. Your reputation is gone. But me? I can still salvage this if I play it right. He left me sitting there, stunned. This was the man I'd risked everything for? This coward who was rewriting history to save himself? I'd destroyed my life for someone who didn't deserve a single thought. I moved into a tiny studio apartment I could barely afford. My savings drained fast. Every job application got ignored or rejected. My name was everywhere: gossip sites, Reddit, Twitter. The Bachelorette cheater. Strangers sent hateful messages. Women told me I was disgusting, that I deserved to be alone forever, that I should never have children. Men sent propositions, assuming I'd be willing to cheat again. Through mutual friends, I learned Daniel was seeing someone new. Grace. She worked at his firm and looked kind in photos. The type of woman who never made impulsive decisions. The type Daniel deserved. My mother called once more. Your father and I are disappointed in you, Emma. We raised you better than this. I know, Mom, I'm sorry. Sorry doesn't fix what you've done. I spent my days staring at walls, replaying that night. What if I'd stayed inside? What if I'd been honest with Daniel about my doubts instead of running to someone else? But what ifs don't change reality. One dark night, I looked at old photos of Daniel and me. At his brother's wedding, looking so in love. On the beach in Mexico, laughing. Painting that nursery. Dreaming about a future that would never happen. I'd had everything. A man who loved me unconditionally. A stable job. A family that adored me. A future full of possibility. And I'd thrown it away because I was bored. Because I was scared. Because I was selfish enough to think one night of excitement wouldn't matter. But it mattered more than anything. I cried that night until I had no tears left. Mourning not just what I'd lost, but who I'd lost. The Emma that Daniel fell in love with felt like a stranger now. 3 weeks later, an unknown number called. Emma Carter? Yes? This is Detective Sarah Monroe with the city police. I need to ask you some questions about Marcus Bennett. My heart dropped. What about him? Can you come to the station? An hour later, I sat in an interrogation room while Detective Monroe explained that Marcus was under investigation for sexual harassment and coercion. 3 other women from his previous job had come forward after seeing our video online. Marcus has a pattern, Detective Monroe said. He pursues women in relationships or engaged, convinces them to cheat, then uses the evidence to manipulate them. In 2 cases, he blackmailed women into continuing affairs. One woman paid him $50,000. I felt sick. He said it was mutual between us. Was it? Or did he push you into a situation you weren't comfortable with? I thought back. Marcus suggesting we go outside. Marcus buying me drinks all evening. Marcus initiating the kiss, or had he? The memories were fuzzy. I don't know anymore, I admitted. I was drunk. He seemed sober. He knew I was engaged. He knew I was vulnerable. Did he film the video himself? What? No, I thought someone else filmed it from a window. Detective Monroe turned her laptop toward me. A different angle of that night clearly filmed from Marcus's phone, propped deliberately against something in the alley. He set up his phone before you went outside, she explained. This was premeditated, Emma. He planned to record you. Marcus had orchestrated everything. The conversation, the location, the timing, maybe even sending the video to Daniel and the office to destroy my credibility. That son of a bitch, I whispered. For the first time in weeks, I felt something other than guilt. I felt angry. Detective Monroe introduced me to the other victims. Carla, Jen, and Whitney. All had stories similar to mine. All had been targeted at vulnerable moments. He's a predator, Carla said. She was a lawyer, sharp, but I could see the pain in her eyes. He finds committed women and convinces them they're making a mistake, makes them feel special. Then when they give in, he destroys their lives. But we did choose to cheat, I said quietly. We're not innocent. No one's saying we're innocent, Whitney replied. But there's a difference between making a bad choice and being manipulated into it. Marcus studied us, Emma. He knew exactly what buttons to push. I spent weeks working with detectives, providing testimony, analyzing text messages. Marcus's lawyer tried to paint us as bitter women seeking revenge. But the evidence was overwhelming. The case became public. Articles that had called me a cheater now called me a victim. People who'd sent death threats sent apologies. But I wasn't doing this for redemption. I was doing it because Marcus needed to be stopped. During this time, Daniel texted me, "I heard about the case. I'm glad you're helping take him down. For what it's worth, I'm sorry I said those things about you being an unfit mother. That was cruel." I stared at the message before responding. "You had every right to be angry. I betrayed you. The fact that Marcus manipulated me doesn't erase my choices. Maybe not, but it adds context. I hope you're doing okay. I'm surviving. That's about all I can say. I'm sorry, Daniel, for everything. I know. Take care of yourself, Emma." It wasn't forgiveness, but it was acknowledgement. A small moment of grace I didn't deserve but desperately needed. When Marcus was arrested, I felt a small sense of justice. But it didn't fix what I'd broken. It didn't bring Daniel back. It was just a small step toward closure. 6 months later, I was different. I'd started therapy with Dr. Linda Freeman, who didn't let me wallow but also didn't let me minimize what happened. "You were manipulated," she told me. "But you also made choices. Both things can be true. The work is learning to hold both truths without letting either destroy you." I'd gotten a new job, just administrative work at a small nonprofit, but it was honest work with good people who didn't know my history. I'd reconnected slowly with my mother. Claire and I had coffee every other week, rebuilding trust. Sophia remained my closest friend. I think what scared me most, I told her over wine, was that I could be that person. Someone who cheats. Someone who lies. I'd always thought I was better than that. "None of us know who we are until we're tested," Sophia replied. "You failed the test, Emma. But you're also taking responsibility. That counts for something." Marcus was convicted on 3 counts of coercion and 2 counts of blackmail. 5 years in prison. It felt hollow. He'd ruined lives. And 5 years seemed like nothing. But it was something. Daniel married Grace a year later. I saw the announcement online and felt sadness, but also genuine happiness for him. He deserved someone who wouldn't hurt him. I'd dated casually since then, but nothing serious. Maybe I never would be ready. The studio apartment had become home. I'd painted the walls warm blue, hung art from local artists, adopted a rescue cat named Piper. It wasn't the life I'd planned with the nursery and white picket fence, but it was mine. One evening, I looked at old photos of Daniel and me. For the first time, I could look without drowning in regret. Yes. I'd hurt someone who didn't deserve it. Yes. I'd made choices I could never take back. But I was still here. Still breathing. Still trying to be better. Dr. Freeman asked me recently if I'd forgiven myself. "Not yet," I answered honestly. "Maybe never. But I'm learning to live with who I am, the good and the bad." 3 years after that bachelorette party, I stood in a community center, watching young women file into the room. I'd been invited to speak at a workshop about difficult choices and consequences. My hands trembled at the podium. These women didn't know my story. I was just Emma C., survivor advocate. "My name is Emma," I began. "And 3 years ago, I made a choice that destroyed my life." I told them everything. Daniel. Marcus. That night, the video, the public shaming, the loss. Learning. Marcus had manipulated me, but also accepting my own responsibility. I didn't paint myself as just a victim or just a villain. I was both and neither. "I can't tell you I've completely forgiven myself," I said. "Some days I wake up and still feel crushing guilt for hurting someone who loved me. But I can tell you that it's possible to survive the worst thing you've ever done. It's possible to rebuild, even if the new life looks nothing like the one you planned." After the talk, a young woman approached me, crying. "I did something similar," she whispered. "Everyone hates me. I hate myself. Does it ever stop hurting?" I took her hands in mine. "Eventually it hurts less. But you have to do the work. You have to be honest with yourself about why you did it and commit to being better. It won't be easy. And some people will never forgive you. But you can learn to live with yourself again. I promise." As I drove home that night, I thought about Daniel. I hoped he was happy. I hoped Grace gave him the life he deserved. I hoped he'd become the father he'd always wanted to be. And me? I was learning to hope again too. Hope that redemption wasn't about erasing the past, but about facing it honestly. Hope that making one terrible choice didn't define your entire life. Hope that even after losing everything, you can still find something worth living for. I wasn't the person I'd been before that night. But maybe, just maybe, I was becoming someone better. The end.